Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Blackbull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Blackbull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. Get either the Essential Plus or Premium plans absolutely free. All you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Blackbull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Our sponsor Blue Guardian is the only prop firm that gives their traders a tool to protect them from hitting their max daily loss and over trading. It's super simple to use. Just set the Guardian Protector each day from your dashboard. Did you also know that they've just released an unlimited time evaluation with a 0 trading days requirement, giving you plenty of time to hit their low 8 and 4% targets, making it super fast to get funded. Plus, it's cheaper than the 40-day time limit evaluation. Check out the link and coupon in the description to get 10% off your next Blue Guardian evaluation.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Brinks Trades coming back to you live with another week of breakdowns. Hopefully, everybody had a good trading week and, everything worked out. So let me go ahead and share my screen as usual. As usual, I want to see where everybody's from, where everybody's, calling in from. Apologies again for doing this on Sunday instead of Saturday. I usually do on Saturdays. But just had a lot of stuff going on yesterday, so I couldn't come on and present. So let me share my screen. And again, if this is your first time watching, oops, is it not working? Let me try this. There we go. There we go. So yeah, again, if this is your first time watching, again, I'm Brinks Trades. I'm a day trader. I've been trading for like 10 years. Started back in late 2014, early 2015. When it comes to the Forex markets, then recently made a transition over the future side of things, but still look at currency pairs or currencies futures markets. So it's very similar to the Forex space as well as the indices. And so I am the resident indices analyst for Trading Nut Podcast. So I come on here every week and basically give my breakdowns on what I think is going to happen on the currency pairs. I'm sorry, the indices market, and then some of the currency futures. So if you stay on here, you usually will see a very, very good analysis every week. So it's not always accurate, but we do the best that we can. So what I want to do is, every week, if you guys know how I do this, I come on charts and I always start with dollar and a dollar index, because if we get an understanding of dollar index, we can have a really good understanding of indices and the currency futures market. So I had a target for this week. I said that what we could potentially run to would be this overall. If I go to the weekly time frame, this overall imbalance on the way to this potential high here. And so if you guys have been following along, over the past few weeks, we've had a few things happen. We had a break in markets. We had a really good grab of liquidity back down here at the 100 level, and then a break in market structure. So we wanted to start looking up and looking for higher things. And so I had a short-term bullish bias until we take out this level here. And so last week I called out a few levels that I wanted to see hit as far as like targets go on the dollar analysis. So this first level of buy side liquidity here, this old high, was the main target for this past week. And we ended up hitting that. So we started the week out here down at this level here at the 103.22 level and really took out that high. Um, Going down to the daily time frame, again, you can see some of these levels on this particular time frame. And so we can get rid of this here. A lot of this stuff now goes out of the way. And so ideally, again, I wanted to see this level taken out, and it did over the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. We shot straight for this level, and we really have not had it break down once taking this level out. We rejected from this hold high, but then we're still pushing past through it. So I really have no reason but to stick with this bullish bias going down to the 4-hour time frame just to kind of see where we're at. So yeah, I really don't have a reason not to stick with this daily bias so far. So ideally, I will be looking for the market to come up and hit this overall weekly fair value gap as kind of the next target. Now, because we did close the week under this level, again, I will be watching just to see if we reject and keep going down. But as of now, it looks like on a daily and weekly time frame that we could potentially shoot past this. So I'll be watching that to see. But as far as a bias for this week, again, I would love to see the market do something like this. Let me go down to the daily. At the a best case scenario would be the market dropping down back into this order block right here at worst, and really running for either that fair value gap there, or if we get an extended run above these old highs, coming back and really finishing things off by going here. I think that's going to be a few weeks before that we see something like that happen. Noticing that we basically had a rejection from this level without taking it out means that there's a lot of liquidity sitting over this high, and I think that we're probably going to come back into this zone, into that 105.62 level eventually. But I got to see how we react here first. So on a weekly standpoint, I want to see the market reach for this 104.59 level. And we'll see how we get when we get there. But that's what I'm looking at for dollars. So I am holding a short term, I guess a short to mid-term bullish bias on dollar. Let's see. Okay, I can see what you guys are talking about now. You can't see my screen. This is what happens when you have like 2 trading view windows open at the same time. Thanks, Jameson. So basically what's going on here is, again, I am holding a bullish bias on dollar. Over the last week, we saw dollar come out and take out our initial target here, which was at that 104.2 level, and then reached back, kind of rejected from that high. And that was our target for the week. I said if we got an extended run, jumping up to the weekly time frame, we could have seen us run into this weekly fair value gap at 104.55, or 104.45. I'm sorry. And so that's going to be the target for this week. Ideally, what I want to see the market do is jumping back down to the daily time frame. I want to see the market do something like this, where it could trade back into this potential order block here and then go higher at a best case scenario. It might go straight for that. And so really depending on how the market kind of opens up over the next day or so, you could be prepared for 1 or 2 scenarios where we could dip down here and go higher, or we're going to come up here and take this high and then just completely fall over. The only thing I don't like from dollar, again, going back to what I was talking about a few minutes ago, is the fact that we did take out this old high, but we failed to close above it. So that this could be a liquidity sweep in the long term to continue going back down. But as of right now, since we only can really see a bullish trend here, I can't really call against the bullish bias. So ideally, I want to see the market continue to rise and go higher. And if we consolidate in this zone right here, or if we maybe sweep the old high and then go back, start retracing, then I might kind of put a pause on any bullishness. But as of right now, I'm sticking with the idea that we're going to continue to go run higher. And I'm just looking for opportunities to continue to kind of engage in that. So something like this would be like the best case scenario where we trade back into this old order block slash fair value gap, very, very small fair value gap. So this would be like a best case scenario where we do this. And if not, then maybe there's a slightly less than perfect opportunity to top in on that. But again, we don't really use dollar index as a market that we're going to trade. I know some forex brokers offer dollar index as a platform you could trade. I really just use it as a bias to kind of help me set my expectations for what I'm looking for in the other currency futures or the indices market. So if we're jumping into Euro futures, again, 6E1 is going to be Euro futures. It's going to be the same thing as Euro USD, right? And so if we are expecting a bullish dollar, we should be expecting a bearish euro, right? So ideally, going into last week, we had a couple targets that we wanted to see hit, and I drew this out for a few reasons. I think I'm trying to remember. Is this Monday? Yeah, so coming into last week, if we go back 5 days, I wanted to see the market really draw back up into this fair value gap here and then really take out this target here on the way to this daily / weekly volume imbalance. If I jump up to the weekly time frame, you can see a little bit better. This is a volume imbalance. Essentially, what that means is there is a gap between the candles, right? And so I knew even though we took out this liquidity level here or this target level here, we probably were going to keep running lower, or we had a good chance to keep running lower because there's nothing here that really says that we should shift otherwise. We haven't had a break in market structure. We haven't had any of the classic conditions that I look for when it comes to the market shifting. So ideally, what I wanted to see was that market continue to drop. And so best case scenario would have been us trading back up into this old imbalance here, this old civvy, for us to continue to run lower. We didn't quite get that high on the pullback, I think. And I remember watching this because I was out of town on Monday, and I watched this huge Monday candle just drop. And I thought there was going to be an opportunity to for us to hop in here. Like price was going to trade back here on Monday and then start to retrace, and it just went straight down. And you'll see this a lot of times when there's a higher time frame objective that the market's trying to hit, like very quickly. You'll see it kind of just go straight for these levels, right? And so there wasn't really an opportunity on Monday. Tuesday, I think I banked a like 20. It was Tuesday or Wednesday. It was like $2,300 trade off of this, basically catching, the high of the day here and trading back into this volume imbalance there. It was 2 to 3 grand. I can't remember. It's in my chat. If you guys are in my Telegram, I post all my trades in the chat there. And so ideally what we want to see now going into next week, we've closed the week out by really continuing on this bearish trend. So we have to really stick with this goal or stick with this bias until we really see otherwise. So if I'm looking at potential targets on the downside, I ultimately think we're going to end up here, and this is going to be that kind of like red line, that key target, like final target that we're working our way towards. But ideally, in order for us to hit that, a few things need to happen. To break through this volume balance, right? So going into next week, what I'll be looking for is on the daily time frame at least, and we'll go down a couple time frames just to kind of tighten this up. I want to see the market do something like this. like best case scenario, something like that. And I'll really be looking to see, oops, if we can come back down to this level here. So I'll call this first target. This is just the low last week. I can't write anything on this. Okay, so first target here will be at 1.0785. Oops. And if you guys are, this is your first time watching me, I do these charts in real time. I do not look at these charts until I hop on this call. That's why it usually takes me a little bit longer to do this, and it's like 5 minutes, or it's a little bit more than a few minutes breaking it down, prepare. So any guesses on 1209? Marbury, I'm going back to the comment section. Marbury, I don't know which one you're talking about. Sorry. So if you guys are commenting in here, if you could just comment, like, because sometimes I don't check until after I switch pairs and I go and I check in between pairs or in between charts. If you could just say like which one you're talking about, that'd be cool. Rahimi says, "Man, it's the best." I think you're saying man's the best. If not, that I appreciate that. If not, then G said hi. Gold. I'll look at gold. Oh, any guesses on gold? Okay, I see what you're saying now. I'll take a look at gold. I'm not a huge gold trader, but I'll take a look at gold today. So yeah, so ideally what I want to see here is a couple of things. The best case scenario for us is a pullback level. I want to see the market really, oops. Oh yeah, this is great. I want to see the market trade back into, actually get rid of this. I want to see the market trade back into this range. There's a few overlapping things here. Visibility. Yeah, so ideally I want to see the market do something like this. There's a few overlapping things here. There is this overall civvy here, which that would be amazing if we could get that to play out. There also is this old inverted fair value gap here. In that range too. This is also a breaker. If you guys are familiar with that. So there's a lot here that kind of lends itself to the idea that the market's going to continue to go down. So I'm going to stick with that bias for now. But ideally, I want to see this happen like this. So there's a lot there that I think the market can continue to run to. I'm sorry for these arrows all over the place, but hopefully that makes sense. Ideally, I want to see the market continue to run down this week and hopefully take out this old week's low on its way to this final target here. I think this will be like our final target. Looking at GBP futures or British pound futures, again, these are the futures versions of GBP USD. If I shift down to GBP USD, you guys can see it's pretty much the same. Oops. Maybe that one. There we go. That one. Yeah, they're pretty much the same thing. 6B1 if you trade futures. I don't know what the 6 means, but maybe somebody in the audience does. I just know it's the same chart as Euro USD or GBP USD. So ideally, okay, so looking at the weekly time frame, what I wanted to see happen over the long term was us trade back into this imbalance and keep going lower. I still think as long as the dollar is going to be bullish, we're going to keep running lower on this. And so I don't necessarily feel comfortable taking a trade on this. I think we're going down. but I don't really necessarily feel comfortable taking a position on this until we clear out of this civvy or this BISI here. So this buy side imbalance, fair value gap. And so at this point, what I'm waiting for the market to do is really just give us some more clarifying opportunities that it's going to keep going down. So ideally, what I want to see from this is this to invert, give us some opportunity or signs it's going to potentially retest this gap or go lower. So once we have kind of a clarifying idea that the market is not going to use this BISI to continue to go higher, which right now we're kind of there, then I want to kind of use this as an inversion to go lower. So ideally, we could see a lot of things here, and I don't again, I don't feel comfortable taking a trade yet, but we could see something like this where the market could do that. We could see something like this where the market just goes straight down, and this is open, left open as a breakaway gap, and then it runs lower, right? So I'm just looking for some type of sign or some type of opportunity that we will. And to be honest with you, there's so much room to the downside that there's a lot of liquidity here that I think the market can come back and get. My students will know what this is and what this means, and how we could potentially use that to go lower. I think long term, this is kind of the target that I'm looking for us to hit, like down here. But my eyes are really drawn to this kind of like initial target, and this is going to be at 1.265 or 2675 will be that. But right now I'm just waiting because there's a lot that could happen before we get down here. We could, the market could hold and we could just use this to go higher. I doubt that though, because this is a breaker. Again, we could run back into this fair value gap here. I just need more confirmation, but taking a sell in this zone is not a good idea. So I just need more confirmation before we go down. If we go down to the daily time frame, yeah, same thing here. I mean, we're respecting levels perfectly to go back higher. So I just want to see what happens before I actually commit to a position. But ideally, this is what I want to see, is this to break through, uses an inversion and then go down, or for it to come back up to this civvy here and then go down. But there's nothing really to do on pound futures. There's just not enough information yet. Tony, what's going on, man? Tony Gold. 4-0. Let's see. So let me actually hop back into the indices. That's why everybody's here. Start with NASDAQ. NASDAQ is the goated pair. So pretty much NASDAQ consolidated all week. So we're in the same space that we were at pretty much a week ago. The only thing that I like here we did is we really used this as actually, to be honest with you, we're just really in a huge amount of consolidation. There's a few things that I see that we could potentially use to go higher and lower, and I don't like that. So the long-term bias though on NASDAQ is bullish, right? Even with all of these choppiness, we're still getting higher days. I don't like the fact that we're still sitting in the civvy. I wanted to see last week this get used as an inversion. So what I mean by that is I wanted to see the market run higher through this, potentially retest this on the way to this overall high, this buy side liquidity, which I think is the all-time high, at 21,234. But what happened here since then is we just chopped all week, right? I thought there was a news release on Thursday. I thought that could have been used to move anything. And I told my mentorship students that I don't feel comfortable taking any positions in this until we just kind of decide what we're doing here. And I'll look at Forex Factory before we get off this call just to see if there's any new big news releases coming up. I would not be surprised if there was Well, NFP should probably be on Monday, I think. So we'll see what happens. But I did like the fact that we used power 3 here to run higher. And we traded back down into this civvy here. Let me go back to the daily. Where's it? Maybe the daily. So yeah, so that's what I saw. That's what I initially saw. But right now there's just chop. So this is not really like a good pair to trade. Honestly, the best setups that I'm seeing right now are going to be on the Euro futures, or again, if you trade Forex, Euro USD or British pound. I haven't I don't really see too much on NASDAQ this week. I need this to kind of give us something before it really starts running, because I can make a case for it to go higher. I also can make a case for it to go lower. The lower case, or the case for it going lower, is built in this trendline liquidity that's built up here, that I think the market could come back down and purge. Like we could see something like this, where we run down here, trade into this BISI here. We could go, again, same idea here as the inversion, and go higher. And I don't really have a good idea. Whenever price consolidates in the middle of a range, this is kind of the only time where I'd say when price consolidates, or when it hits a target level and doesn't quite take it out. Those are the two times where I'm not as 100% sure as what the market's going to do. And as a trader, it's really important to know like when your strategy is going to have these times of indecision, no matter what you trade or how you trade. Um, but yes, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. And whenever price consolidates in these higher time frames, it's waiting for some big news release to break out. Let me go back to charts. Man, Jameson, you're keeping me honest today, man. I appreciate this. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and click out of this. I think that's why. So I have two, I got two NASDAQ charts open, and I think I'm showing it on the wrong one. Okay, cool. All right, boom. So yeah, so again, what I'm saying here is this is a lot of consolidation here on NASDAQ. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time looking at this one until we get a breakout above or below this. But it's just a lot of chop here, and I can make the case for this market to go lower based on this trend line liquidity that's built up. So the market drops potentially maybe into something like this BISI here. I also can see a world where, especially since we have consolidated in this so long, that we're not gonna regard this this BISI here, or this CIBI here, and run higher. So again, my strategy, the times where I know that the market could potentially run, or I could have kind of these moments of indecision, is usually when we hit a level, or we consolidate, and that's kind of both things are happening right now. So I don't really have a trade on NASDAQ. Ideally, I could see the market going either way. If you put a gun in my head, I want to see this go higher, just with all of like the macroeconomic stuff going on. It's election year. Usually markets get pumped up higher in election years. So I want to see this run higher, but there's a lot of things that could happen. We could take that level out, that trend line out, and then go higher like this. We could just go straight up and invert this, or some combination of those two. So I'm not really like pressed about this one. Let's go to ES. I think the best setups again are going to be on the Euro futures this week, or the Euro and pound futures charts. It looks like same thing with NASDAQ. We didn't really get a move. I'm sorry, same thing with S&P. We really didn't get a move. We kind of had like an inside. Well, we took out that low. clear this up a little bit. So I'm just going to remove this and draw this again. So ideally, we traded back down into this weekly imbalance here. It's in the weekly time frame. Our all-time high is going to be our target still, right? There's nothing here that says otherwise on either of these time frames. And so we've really just consolidated, right? We've just had choppiness. Right? We've had choppiness over the past couple of days. And so I don't really have we broke market structure here. Yeah, there's not really like a clear trend on this. I can see this running lower for sure. But again, it's still chop. So I'm actually going to back away from all of these this week. Yeah, there's a lot of just chop going on these. So ideally, what I would like to see before I actually make a trade, I guess let me give you that, is I would like to see let me see. If I had to make a trade on NAS or ES, do this instead. I want to see consequent encroachment of this wick broken. So I think if we trade above this 50% level of this wick, I'm just going to put this here and I'm going to say CE. If we trade above this, then there's probably a really good opportunity or a pretty good chance that we're going to come up and take this high out here. Same thing for this low. Oops. I would imagine whatever we fail to respect first is probably going to be the one that we're going to run to. So like, so I really don't see any like good things either way. And you're going to have weeks like this, especially as we get closer to the end of the year. I would say there's probably like one really, really good month of trading left in this year. And then after that, it's going to be very like mundane going into the month of December. There still will be setups and stuff. It just won't be happening as volatile as people want to see. This is actually interesting. So US30 is giving me a bearish rejection. We didn't really quite take out this high. We inverted this weekly fair value gap here. We traded back down to this civvy. Let me go to YM. Let's see if it's any different. It's the same. So we disregarded a couple levels here. This is from a few weeks ago. So we disregarded this BSC. This was our target, right? And we traded back down to the second. So I think when we took out this order block here and its consequent encroachment of that wick, then that kind of let us know that we are probably going to continue to go down. So we could see something like this. And I'll be looking at a target at this target here. So that's what I probably would want to see. There's a couple of daily levels in between this. Actually, I probably would use as targets instead. Like if I was trading this for the week, I would want to see it kind of run here and then see how it played. So this 41,810 level if you're trading US30. Now, I guess with that being said, I don't really feel comfortable on any of the indices this week. But I can see a bearish case building on US30, which is again the Dow Jones, or YM if you trade futures. I also can see that same sentiment on NASDAQ too. So maybe sometimes looking at all three pairs will kind of help you understand the movement, because they tend to move very similar. So if you see one that has a very clear bearish play, then that might be the play for all three of them. But as of right now, I don't really feel comfortable. This will probably be a sit back and watch week. And so if you are trading, like I would say the Euro futures and pound futures are probably the best bet. Personally, I probably will be focusing more on Euro futures this week. And so I'm just gonna say first target here. But this looks like it very well will drop some this week. Let's go to gold really quickly, because somebody asked about gold. Gold is making all-time highs. So the thing about gold here is that during election years, people tend to put, you tend to see gold jump up a lot in election years, because people tend to put their money in things that they know or they feel like won't devalue, especially with a lot of uncertainty in the times. See, whenever times are usually uncertain is when people put a lot of money in gold, which causes the value of gold to rise. So with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if gold kept rising up, but my bias for this will be this old all-time high. Or actually, I don't even know if it's an all-time high, but this old, like, yeah, it's a yearly high at least. Have you ever been higher than this? No. Jeez. Yeah, so this old high, and that's the only thing I can really project to. So if I had to, and I don't think we'll get as low as my projection, like the low end of the pullback. But if I had to like really see something, I would want to see the market do something like this, where it pulls back into maybe this range here, then takes out that high. But that's such a small window. Well, actually, I mean, I don't trade gold, so it could be a really big opportunity on gold, but it doesn't look like it's a big opportunity. But if I was trading that, then that's what I would be looking for. We already respected this here. Trading respected consequent encroachment of that. So on the low end, I would want this market to stay above consequent encroachment of this wick if we're going to be bullish. Right, I would want the market to stay above that, but I think ideally, if you go down to the 4 hour, yeah, and that gap is right there. So this is what I would want to see on if we're going to stay bullish. But I get nervous around trading around all-time highs on any market, right? Because you get the right news release or the right traumatic event, and that whole thing just tanks. But I would say this is, if I was going to trade gold, this is what I'd be looking for. All right, let me go back to the comment section. Diggs BTW says, "Hey, what's up? What's up, man? Seeing that waiting event you get caught in the consolidation bills accounts. Yeah, Tony. So that I think you're talking about Nasdaq. That consolidation probably blew so many accounts because a lot of times people can't deal with consolidation. They immediately see oh, this pulled back to an area that means I need to buy, and the hardest thing to do, especially when trading futures and trading the Nasdaq, is being able to step back out of your trades and say okay, this is the area where consolidation is going to happen or it's happening, and you just kind of have to wait sometimes for either a pullback on manipulation um, or something that's going to give you a sign that's going to keep going higher. Um, because yeah, I mean it's just there's a lot of accounts that get chopped up and blown in those times when you trade currency futures or even when you trade forex. Usually there's only going to be one or two moves in a day or a session when it comes to forex. So I actually think forex is the easier market to trade, and I'll stand by this. Forex, or if you trade the currency futures, those are the easier markets to trade because it's very hard to blow your accounts uh, unless you're just completely over leverage on that. But it's very hard to blow accounts on chop because most of the chop will happen very quickly, or it'll happen on bigger time frames. Then it'll kind of give you um, perspective on what's happening. But with Nasdaq, with other charts, sometimes it'll just chop all morning, and in the afternoon it'll take off. And the swings on Nasdaq are violent. Like the swings on any of these indices are extremely violent. So you could put yourself in a situation where you could easily blow your account in a day. Um, to me, if I only had to pick one market to trade, um, and I didn't care about how long it took me to build an account up, I probably would just trade forex. But uh, forex doesn't always work best with my life, and that's kind of why I made the transition to futures. Um, so yeah. So let me hop. What about the area at 5700, 5780 ES? Let me go back. Yes. I'm trying to think about what you're asking me. So 5700. This area here, I mean, it could run back here. Um I mean, it definitely could run back here, but I guess what I was saying was if we take out this level here, this consequent encroachment in this zone here, that we most likely will be running from at least a daily perspective, my target would be here. I hate how trading view changed their trend line. It's like a ray now. Maybe I'm not doing it right, but oh, that was me. Okay, so this would be my target area, that 57. I mean, I guess it could get as low as 5700, but really that low would be my daily time frame target. If we don't respect that, I think we probably would run down. There's a lot of stuff here. There's also that order block there. But that would have been my target on a long term or a short term short opportunity if we do break down below this level. That's all I was trying to say. I mean, I think long term this thing will still go up. It's just, is it going to go up at the level that we think it's going to go to, this zone right here? So all I was saying is that we could probably run for this low if we don't respect, the current level that we're sitting at. We could do something like that. I think if we did break that level, that's probably what would happen. I don't see a long term bearish opportunity here. So that's all I was trying to say. Let me go to the 15-minute chart just so I can see what you're talking about, though. Yeah, there's a lot of imbalances in here too that haven't been mitigated. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's a potential for it to come down to that area. It's just that I'm using the most prominent low on a higher time frame, like that 57. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It definitely could, but I'm just using that as like the most. A lot of times when I like mark levels off as like target levels, I'm using the most conservative chart or the conservative like level that it could run to. Um, I'm not always going for like the most aggressive, like this is my most aggressive target because my whole trading strategy is all I'm trying to do is, and I tell this to everybody that I teach, is I'm trying to do is find one or two good trades a week at best. So everything you see me do, like a lot of times when I post charts trades in my chat, it's one trade a week, it's two trades max, right? Um, every once in a while, like very, very rare occasions, you see me have like two or three like winning trades in a week because I'm only really looking for one or two. So usually when I hit my objective or hit a good trade on one of the days, then that's it for the day. That's all I'm really doing. So let me go over to Forex Factory really quickly. And just kind of look at the news really quick and then I'll kind of call this a session. So on Tuesday at 10 a.m., there's two red folder news releases, JOLTS and CB Consumer Confidence. Actually, let me go back to Monday. I didn't see. Yeah, there's nothing really on Monday. Wednesday, we have 8:30 news. Thursday, we have 8:30 news. Might be an explosive week. I think Friday, we have NFP, right? And then Friday, we have non-farms. So, like, there's going to be a lot of news towards the back end of this week. I'm gonna really be trying to get my trades in and out of the way by Wednesday at noon. That's usually my protocol with NFP. And I don't trade NFPs. I stay out. In NFPs, FOMCs, I don't try and trade those days. So usually you see the market consolidate the closer you get to those news releases. So I try to stay out. And then the Friday or the actual event of NFP, I'm definitely not anywhere near the market. The only red folder news that I won't trade those days are going to be, again, NFP and FOMC. Um, CPI, PPI are usually the other big ones, and I usually will wait about 15 minutes for the market to kind of sort itself out before I hop in. Um, so hopefully this kind of makes a little sense for you guys. I'll see if there's any other questions here. Let's see. Someone asked about earnings week. Earnings week will raise or lower indices based on what the earnings are. If companies are hitting their numbers, then there could be a lot of sentiment in the market that they could run price higher. Really just kind of depends on the companies. So there's going to be a lot of news this week. Just be careful. Like, don't try and over leverage and overdo it. Me personally, like I said, I'm going to only really be looking to trade Euro futures. I think that's the clearest one to me as of now. But if nothing happens, then I'm not really pressed to even take a trade too. So that's the one thing. You gotta have to be good with it or good without it. So you can't be anxious to really take positions, or other times you kind of blow your account. So hopefully that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And yeah, we'll kick it next week. And also, if you guys are in the chat, it's, again, if you want to find me on all socials, again, it's Brinks Trades on all socials. And if you find me there, feel free to ask me about the Telegram link. I can send you a link to that chat. And then the mentorship that I'm doing on the YouTube channel. So YouTube channel is Brinks Trades. I'll go back here. YouTube.com/Brinks Trades. I think that's my YouTube. Oh, all right, never mind. YouTube.com/Brinks Trades. Huh. Anyways, this is my YouTube channel. So I'm having a weekly mentorship. It's free, it's open to the public. This is the Tick-Ups free mentorship. This is the one where I break down pretty much every, I break down one of the strategies that you can use to take based on principles that I trade. And so it's going to be, again, a free mentorship that's going to live on my YouTube channel. I probably will make a playlist for it. And hopefully you guys can take these concepts and, start doing your own thing with them. I'm a mentor that actually really trades. Like, I really make most of my money most of my trading related money from actually being in the markets and not for mentorships, to be honest. So if you really do what you say you can do, then I think a free mentorship is a good example of that. So I don't know if it'll be a forever thing, if I'll keep doing this forever. Probably not. I probably will go back to charging for mentorships in the future, but this is kind of my way to get back to the trading community. So yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. So again, thanks Tony, thanks Jameson, thanks everybody that watched. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, if you guys want the free mentorship. You want to learn from somebody who's been doing this for about 10 years. So appreciate it, guys. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday. Peace.
Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Black Bull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Black Bull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. Get either the Essential Plus or Premium plans absolutely free. All you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Black Bull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Our sponsor Blue Guardian is the only prop firm that gives their traders a tool to protect them from hitting their max daily loss and over trading. It's super simple to use. Just set the Guardian Protector each day from your dashboard. Did you also know that they've just released an unlimited time evaluation with a 0 trading days requirement, giving you plenty of time to hit their low 8 and 4% targets, making it super fast to get funded. Plus, it's cheaper than the 40-day time limit evaluation. Check out the link and coupon in the description to get 10% off your next Blue Guardian evaluation.